So recently, Wizard101 devs came out with a series of tweets telling us how we will be able to gain Spellements, and Twitter had a very, very, very negative reaction to this, so I'm going to be going over the tweets that were said. Wizard101 devs tweeted, "How to get world Spellements, 1 out of 3. At low levels, you can get them from bosses scattered in worlds Tractotopia through Dragonspire. To obtain a Spellement this way, you must have not completed the next world. For example, you can farm Tractotopia until you complete Marleybone. How to get world Spellements, 2 out of 3. At all levels, you can get them from wooden chests in worlds from Wizard City to Dragonspire by using the Spellement Retriever pet talents. These talents will be on the new Beast Moon pets and must be unlocked using special tokens. At all levels, you can get them by finding cantrip chests in worlds Marleybone through Dragonspire. Casting Magic Touch on these chests give you Spellements specific to that world. You will need 2 additional friends to open these with you." These tweets had a very negative reaction in the community, and I'm going to be going through them. James the Ace says, 1 out of 10 decision. Blaze Ashflame responds, 1, that high? James responds back, where are my manners? -10. Zepho responds, please consider removing the level lock for Spellement farming. It seems grossly unfair to high-level wizards, especially since the alternative methods you describe are extremely resource-intensive, such as pet hatching/training or energy for cantrips. This is not acceptable. Torpzone responds, I don't think that any of these methods are good. The first punishes people for maxing their wizards, the second is resource-intensive and requires a long time spent hunting for wooden chests, and the third demands that people shrink their gardens just to be courteous to others. Robert Jr. responds, this is ridiculously stupid as most players are way past level 50. Just reduce the Spellement drops or something at least for higher level wizards, instead of preventing them from getting any in these worlds at all, without having to use the Retriever talent or cantrips. Fred the Tank responds to him saying, nah bro, we are high level players. We have paid money and been loyal to Wizard101. We shouldn't be penalized because of it. If we can farm faster because we are maxed, then that shouldn't be a problem. We paid money to get here. He also says, plus we have to farm 735 of these suckers to get a max upgrade on a single spell. Barnabas responds, I very much dislike this decision. Please reconsider and let players at all levels farm the bosses for Spellements. I'd be fine with high-level wizards missing out on our quest reward Spellements, but not bosses. It makes me think that intention is to sell more Spellemental packs. Levy Sam responds, as someone who is generally always optimistic and supportive of moves and changes made, this is really stupid. Every Wiz of mine but one has finished the first arc. So my singular Arc 1 Wiz has to farm for all of my wizards to rip spells? He's just forever low level then. Gil the Tired responds, this is a betrayal of the premise for this update. I was on board until you revealed that Spellement upgrades are still, by every conceivable measure, utterly unreasonable to farm for. Level locking boss drops is unnecessary and overcomplicated for the purpose it serves. The Craft Box responds, yes, because the way to fix a system that's treated as pay-to-win already is to make it so only low-level players can easily get them. You have had since 2019 to sort this out. You said changes were coming, and this is the best you can do? Frosty responds, that's a very long way of saying our plans for level locking Spellements is a horrible idea. Blaze Stormcloud responds, funny you say that when I was getting 1 to 2 Spellements from Retriever in Live Realm, and now I'm getting 1 Spellement or 1 TC in Test Realm. You nerfed it? Stormcloud responds again by saying, oh, and not to mention the highly increased pool of drops. So before we had 1 to 2 Spellements per chest, with only a handful of possible Spellements, and now we have 0 to 1 Spellements per chest, with even more Spellements to get lucky from? He also responds, I'm sorry, but this just isn't viable acquisition. 3 players spending 15 energy each for 1 to 2 Spellements is crazy expensive in my opinion. Bobcat responds, 3 players spending 15 energy for 1 to 2 Spellements when you need around 700 Spellements to get to tier 5, literally 0.3% of Spellements you need. Stormcloud responds to him by saying, assuming you get the exact same Spellements every time, keep in mind there are about 48 new Spellement paths this update. Nidus responds, remind you that it exactly 685 Spellements to max one spell, and with 48 new additions, it totals to 32,880 Spellements. This ain't it, far beyond it. Watch them drop a pack for it soon, and add another fourth possible chance at Spellements you want. These are all nothing but chance. The craft box responds, I opened a chest on test. You first have to find it. They are pretty rare. 2 hours looking, and I have found one. We opened it. My friend got 3 Spellements. I got 2. All not the school we were on. Firestaff responds, what about solo players? Bobcat responds, you guys can't even make most of the side systems worth it to do. Every year, it's just you guys introducing more shit into the game, and that's not even implemented well. Flash responds by saying, the decision to level, talent, and energy gate obtaining Spellements and then having a very low amount drop when you do get them is a very bad idea and feels less consumer-friendly and more whale-friendly. Please reconsider this approach. Right now, it's very clearly a mistake. Geo responds with an image of Spark saying, that is a truly illogical plan, bordering on mental instability. The Fudge Bro responds, King's Isle Entertainment carefully making the most convoluted game design you've ever seen. Johnny Act sarcastically says, you can tell how in touch King's Isle is with their player base from the near universal praise they are receiving for this brilliant spell writing system audit. The game is headed in a great direction if they keep this up. Nate River responds, clown emoji, how out of touch are you? Is this the improvement we were promised? It looks like you have no real intention of actually making the game not pay to win. You just want an excuse to claim that it isn't. 100% full stopping spending any money to support this greed. Dan Maplex quote tweets Wizard101 by saying, fun fact, at a drop rate of 1 Spellement per chest, it would take 57 hours of monotonous chest opening in order to max out a single spell. This isn't even taking into account that the drops aren't school or range specific, nor the effort required to obtain the talent itself. And then he says, even funner fact, at a drop rate of 3 Spellements per cantrip's chest, it would take 429 hours of constant energy gain as a member in order to max out a single spell. This isn't taking into account the generous estimation of 3 per chest, which is more than my first-hand observations. It is also assuming you don't waste a single drop of energy, find a chest, and 2 other players immediately upon being able to open one, etc. At Bayo Conjurer responds, if you farm Mushu, for example, with the data we have from testing, the drop rate / patterns, there's around an 82.8% chance you get an off-school Spellement. Note that you only get 1 Spellement for 1 completely random spell per fight. You be the judge of how reliable this is. I respond by saying, you need to let us farm Spellements as max levels, or this whole Spellement overhaul changes absolutely nothing. Stormburner responds by saying, important thread on the axis of Spellements. And then Dakota Earthhorn responds, alternative, buy world packs. James the Ace responds to him by saying, I hate to sound toxic or like an echo chamber, but this literally ain't it. I get you gotta make money, but dude, no.